On November 21st of 2011, doctors took my left kidney and transplanted it into my daughter, Kimmy.
As a parent, when you find out that your child has a life-threatening disease, it is a feeling of helplessness, feeling of fear, even though you try not to let fear creep in.
To find out that she was at, just turned 12 years old and her kidneys were functioning at 20% and they weren't going to get better.
I definitely wanted to be the first one to jump in and try to save her life by donating my kidney.
As it turns out, I was the better option.
When my husband was the best one and chosen to be the donor, I knew my role was going to be different in this journey. I was going to be the caregiver.
Kimmy growing up was always very active, always had a smile on her face, made friends very, very easily. She was always kind of the magnet that other kids were drawn to. And then right after she turned 12, she came downstairs one day and her hands were kind of forming into claws.
My hands kind of got into like a 4 formation and it was excruciating pain.
Started becoming very painful, so we took her to the hospital.
And in my 12-year-old mind, I was like, what is going on?
They did a lot more testing. That went about 3 months, and they said, this really isn't working. She's going to need a transplant.
I can't put into words how grateful I am. They both gave me life, and he gave me a second chance at life. 5 years after transplant, I was at a church camp and God kind of placed on my heart that it was time for me to share my story to bless others.
The seed was planted in Kimmy's heart that she just wanted to give back. She wanted to come alongside other kids who heard the news, you need a life-saving organ transplant.
We kind of thought, well, let's look at starting a nonprofit because this is something we want to do long-term. And started our nonprofit organization called Children's Transplant Initiative.
What I really do is I come alongside the kids and I kind of talk to them and kind of mentor them and tell them, hey, I went through this and you're gonna go through this and it's gonna be okay.
We have families that are referred to us by our trusted social workers at Texas Children's.
We here at Texas Children's, we meet the medical aspects of it, but there's so many other components that are missing. CTI, they offer those basic needs, whether it's financial, having money just for basic needs, for food, having an apartment to stay for your entire family, because some of our families, they relocate with the parents and the other siblings, and having this apartment or having that financial assistance or that emotional support is a dire need for all of our families.
And so now we do run 5 hospitality apartments less than a half a mile from Texas Children's.
We're from Louisiana, which is a 4-hour drive, so we here stay in the apartments with CTI. My daughter Kylie, that's 16 years old, had a transplant in 2012 of liver and kidney, and in 2018 she started having kidney failure. And we're here now getting treatments, and I will be trained to do home dialysis. When we realized that we had to do dialysis 3 times a week and the traveling would be a little bit too much, we decided to relocate here in Houston. It's rent-free. It's a half a mile away from the hospital, very easy.
I like this apartment because they have 2 bedrooms, 2 baths, and 1 kitchen, the living room, and the TV.
Other family can come here and visit and spend family time with us.
Yeah, my grandma and my sister and her 2-year-old baby.
After 6 months of dialysis being stable, she may be able to get evaluated for another transplant, but time will tell for that. CTI has been really great for Kylie and I and other families from around the states. Gives them a place to stay and home away from home.
So looking back, if this had not happened to our daughter, chances are we wouldn't have this nonprofit. And I think that's what really brought us to this was not only Kimmy telling us that she's ready to tell her story, but how we could use what we went through to help people.
In the future for me with Children's Transplant Initiative, I hope to still be a listening ear for those kids, kind of walk alongside them as they grow up and go through life. I also hopefully one day want to be on like the executive side.
We have people that are personal sponsors. We have corporate sponsors that donate monies. We hold several fundraisers every year. The donations go to taking care of these families. Our long-term goal is to build a hospitality house. We're going to call it Kimmy's Cottage. We can start looking at some property. We can start raising capital campaign to get some money for that and turn this into reality.
For organ donation, I think it's so important. One person can save 8 lives, and being a recipient of a transplant, I really have looked at organ donation in a different light. And unfortunately, a lot of kids nowadays don't have living donors that are ready to give them an organ and are waiting on the list. So it's so important to sign up to be an organ donor to help save a children's life.